CLEP Principles of Management Labor Relations. Question 1. Should a student connect employees worry a new system will reduce their status or job security inside a regional branch for the Eastgate unit with which management concept? Option A. Empowerment. Option B. Benchmarking. Option C. Orientation. Option D. Resistance to change. The correct answer is option D. Resistance to change. Resistance to change fits because resistance to change often comes from fear, uncertainty, or perceived loss. Empowerment is different because it gives people more discretion, benchmarking is different because it compares against best practices, and orientation is different because it introduces employees to the organization. Question 2. Which concept is shown when a leader makes decisions alone and expects quick compliance in a customer service center for the Eastgate unit? Option A. Democratic leadership. Option B. Laissez-faire leadership. Option C. Autocratic leadership. Option D. Servant leadership. The correct answer is option C. Autocratic leadership. Autocratic leadership fits because autocratic leadership centralizes authority in the leader. Democratic leadership is different because it invites participation, laissez-faire leadership is different because it gives followers wide freedom, and servant leadership is different because it emphasizes serving followers' needs. Question 3. New employees learn basic policies, expectations, and workplace routines at a family-owned business for the Eastgate unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A. Recruitment. Option B. Performance appraisal. Option C. Orientation. Option D. Arbitration. The correct answer is option C. Orientation. Orientation fits because orientation introduces new hires to the organization and their jobs. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, performance appraisal is different because it evaluates results, and arbitration is different because it resolves disputes through a binding third party. Question 4. During a management case, employees share unwritten values about how work should be done in a multinational company for the Eastgate unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A. Organizational culture. Option B. Organization chart. Option C. Budget. Option D. Job specification. The correct answer is option A. Organizational culture. Organizational culture fits because organizational culture is the shared values, beliefs, and assumptions of members. Organization chart is different because it shows formal structure, budget is different because it allocates money, and job specification is different because it lists required qualifications. Question 5. How should a manager classify a situation where employees move among different positions to learn broader skills at a new startup for the Eastgate unit? Option A. Job rotation. Option B. Job enlargement. Option C. Job enrichment. Option D. Specialization. The correct answer is option A. Job rotation. Job rotation fits because job rotation shifts employees through different jobs to build variety and experience. Job enlargement is different because it adds similar tasks to one job. Job enrichment is different because it increases responsibility and meaning, and specialization is different because it narrows work into specific tasks. Question 6. When a company identifies a patented process it owns as an advantage at a warehouse facility for the Eastgate unit, which concept is being applied? Option A. Threat. Option B. Opportunity. Option C. Strength. Option D. Weakness. The correct answer is option C. Strength. Strength fits because a strength is an internal positive capability or resource. Threat is different because it is an external danger, opportunity is different because it is an external positive condition, and weakness is different because it is an internal limitation. Question 7. After middle managers convert broad goals into departmental actions inside a project team for the Eastgate unit, which label best fits the action? Option A. Strategic planning. Option B. Orientation. Option C. Tactical planning. Option D. Collective bargaining. The correct answer is option C. Tactical planning. Tactical planning fits because tactical planning translates strategy into plans for units or departments. Strategic planning is different because it is broader and handled mainly by top management. Orientation is different because it introduces new employees to the organization, and collective bargaining is different because it is negotiation between labor and management. Question 8. If an employee follows formal steps to challenge a contract violation inside a training program for the Eastgate unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A. Selection procedure. Option B. Budgeting process. Option C. Grievance procedure. Option D. Brainstorming. The correct answer is option C. Grievance procedure. Grievance procedure fits because a grievance procedure gives employees a formal path for resolving workplace complaints. Selection procedure is different because it screens job applicants. Budgeting process is different because it plans financial resources, and brainstorming is different because it generates ideas before judging them. Question 9. To analyze a case where frontline employees send suggestions and problems to senior managers during a manufacturing expansion for the Eastgate unit, which term should be selected? Option A, downward communication. Option B, upward communication. Option C, horizontal communication. Option D, external communication. The correct answer is option B, upward communication. Upward communication fits because upward communication flows from lower levels to higher levels. Downward communication is different because it flows from managers to employees. Horizontal communication is different because it flows across peers, and external communication is different because it crosses organizational boundaries. Question 10. For an exam item where a high potential employee is prepared for future leadership roles within a nonprofit organization for the Eastgate unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, training. Option B, selection. Option C, job description. Option D, development. The correct answer is option D, development. Development fits because development builds long-term capabilities for future responsibilities. Training is different because it focuses more on current job skills. Selection is different because it chooses candidates, and job description is different because it lists current duties. Question 11. In a workplace example where a manager must explain why a project missed its target inside a regional branch for the Eastgate unit, which concept is tested? Option A, accountability. Option B, authority. Option C, delegation. Option D, recruitment. The correct answer is option A, accountability. Accountability fits because accountability means being answerable for results. Authority is different because it is decision-making power. Delegation is different because it transfers work and authority to another person, and recruitment is different because it attracts job applicants. Question 12. Before choosing an answer about a manager postpones addressing a conflict and hopes it disappears in a customer service center for the Eastgate unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, forcing. Option B, avoidance. Option C, collaboration. Option D, mediation. The correct answer is option B, avoidance. Avoidance fits because avoidance delays or withdraws from conflict rather than solving it directly. Forcing is different because it uses authority to impose a solution. Collaboration is different because it openly works through both sides' concerns, and mediation is different because it uses a neutral facilitator. Question 13. One manager notices that each side gives up part of what it wants to reach a settlement at a family-owned business for the Eastgate unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, collaboration. Option B, compromise. Option C, avoidance. Option D, accommodation. The correct answer is option B, compromise. Compromise fits because compromise resolves conflict through mutual concessions. Collaboration is different because it seeks a fuller win-win solution. Avoidance is different because it sidesteps the issue, and accommodation is different because it yields to the other side. Question 14. Could a case where an engineer reports to both a functional manager and a project manager in a multinational company for the Eastgate unit best point to which concept? Option A, functional structure. Option B, matrix structure. Option C, centralization. Option D, job analysis. The correct answer is option B, matrix structure. Matrix structure fits because a matrix structure combines functional and project authority, creating dual reporting. Functional structure is different because it usually has one functional chain. Centralization is different because it refers to where decisions are made, and job analysis is different because it studies the content of a job. Question 15. Why would a scenario where executives respond to a crisis the company has never faced before at a new startup for the Eastgate unit most likely test which idea? Option A, program decision. Option B, non-program decision. Option C, procedure. Option D, standing plan. The correct answer is option B, non-program decision. Non-program decision fits because non-program decisions are novel, complex, and not solved by routine rules. Program decision is different because it handles repeated problems, procedure is different because it gives routine steps, and standing plan is different because it guides recurring situations. Question 16. Where does a team generates many ideas before judging any of them at a warehouse facility for the Eastgate unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, groupthink. Option B, arbitration. Option C, budgeting. Option D, brainstorming. The correct answer is option D, brainstorming. Brainstorming fits because brainstorming separates idea generation from evaluation to encourage creativity. Groupthink is different because it pressures members toward agreement, arbitration is different because it lets a third party decide a dispute, and budgeting is different because it plans financial resources. Question 17. Should a student connect a new customer segment appears in the market inside a project team for the Eastgate unit with which management concept? Option A, weakness. Option B, strength. Option C, policy. Option D, opportunity. The correct answer is option D, opportunity. Opportunity fits because an opportunity is an external condition the organization can use to improve results. Weakness is different because it is inside the organization, strength is different because it is an internal advantage, and policy is different because it is a general decision guideline. Question 18. Which concept is shown when a leader recognizes frustration in a team and responds calmly inside a training program for the Eastgate unit? Option A, emotional intelligence. Option B, technical skill. Option C, benchmarking. Option D, span of control. The correct answer is option A, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence fits because emotional intelligence involves understanding and managing emotions in oneself and others. Technical skill is different because it concerns specialized job knowledge. Benchmarking is different because it compares practices with leaders, and span of control is different because it counts direct reports. Question 19. Branch managers are allowed to solve local customer problems without headquarters approval during a manufacturing expansion for the Eastgate unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, centralization. Option B, decentralization. Option C, bureaucracy. Option D, forecasting. The correct answer is option B, decentralization. Decentralization fits because decentralization gives lower levels more authority to make decisions. Centralization is different because it keeps authority at the top, bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes rules and hierarchy, and forecasting is different because it estimates future conditions. Question 20. During a management case, a manager defines a problem, lists alternatives, evaluates them, and selects a solution within a nonprofit organization for the Eastgate unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, grapevine. Option B, rational decision-making model. Option C, equity theory. Option D, laissez-faire leadership. The correct answer is option B, rational decision-making model. Rational decision-making model fits because the rational model uses a logical sequence to choose among alternatives. Grapevine is different because it is informal communication, equity theory is different because it explains motivation through fairness, and laissez-faire leadership is different because it gives followers broad freedom. Question 21. How should a manager classify a situation where an organization designs pay rates, incentives, and salary ranges inside a regional branch for the Eastgate unit? Option A, benefits. Option B, compensation. Option C, recruitment. Option D, quality control. The correct answer is option B, compensation. Compensation fits because compensation covers financial rewards given for employee work. Benefits is different because they are indirect rewards such as insurance or leave. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, and quality control is different because it checks output against standards. Question 22. When a neutral third party helps disputing employees reach their own agreement in a customer service center for the Eastgate unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, arbitration. Option B, mediation. Option C, collective bargaining. Option D, groupthink. The correct answer is option B, mediation. Mediation fits because mediation guides the process without imposing a binding decision. Arbitration is different because it usually gives the third-party decision power. Collective bargaining is different because it is labor management negotiation, and groupthink is different because it is pressure toward agreement. Question 23. After employees share unofficial information before management makes a formal announcement at a family-owned business for the Eastgate unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, organization chart. Option B, policy manual. Option C, budget report. Option D, grapevine. The correct answer is option D, grapevine. Grapevine fits because the grapevine is the informal communication network inside an organization. Organization chart is different because it is a formal structure diagram. Policy manual is different because it gives official guidance, and budget report is different because it gives financial control information. Question 24. If a new competitor enters the market with lower prices in a multinational company for the Eastgate unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, strength. Option B, opportunity. Option C, threat. Option D, procedure. The correct answer is option C, threat. Threat fits because a threat is an external condition that can harm performance. Strength is different because it is an internal advantage, opportunity is different because it is an external positive condition, and procedure is different because it is a sequence of steps. Question 25. To analyze a case where an employee receives performance input from supervisors, peers, subordinates, and sometimes customers at a new startup for the Eastgate unit, which term should be selected? Option A, self-managed team. Option B, job specification. Option C, 360-degree feedback. Option D, budget control. The correct answer is option C, 360-degree feedback. 360-degree feedback fits because 360-degree feedback gathers appraisal information from multiple sources around the employee. Self-managed team is different because it gives a team control over work, job specification is different because it lists qualifications, and budget control is different because it compares financial results with a budget. Question 26. For an exam item where a company prepares a backup response in case a supplier fails at a warehouse facility for the Eastgate unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, standing rule. Option B, contingency plan. Option C, job analysis. Option D, downward communication. The correct answer is option B, contingency plan. Contingency plan fits because a contingency plan prepares for possible future events or disruptions. Standing rule is different because it gives a continuing command for repeated behavior. Job analysis is different because it studies tasks and requirements, and downward communication is different because it flows from managers to employees. Question 27. In a workplace example where a neutral third party hears a dispute and makes a binding decision inside a project team for the Eastgate unit, which concept is tested? Option A, mediation. Option B, brainstorming. Option C, arbitration. Option D, job rotation. The correct answer is option C, arbitration. Arbitration fits because arbitration gives the third party authority to decide the outcome. Mediation is different because it helps parties negotiate without imposing a decision. Brainstorming is different because it generates ideas, and job rotation is different because it moves employees among jobs. Question 28. Before choosing an answer about union representatives and management negotiate wages, hours, and working conditions inside a training program for the Eastgate unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, mediation. Option B, recruitment. Option C, forecasting. Option D, collective bargaining. The correct answer is option D, collective bargaining. Collective bargaining fits because collective bargaining is the negotiation process between labor and management. Mediation is different because it uses a neutral helper in a dispute. Recruitment is different because it attracts job applicants, and forecasting is different because it estimates future conditions. Question 29. One manager notices that a manager uses rewards and consequences to increase desired behavior during a manufacturing expansion for the Eastgate unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, reinforcement theory. Option B, equity theory. Option C, goal-setting theory. Option D, matrix structure. The correct answer is option A, reinforcement theory. Reinforcement theory fits because reinforcement theory explains behavior through its consequences. Equity theory is different because it focuses on fairness perceptions. Goal-setting theory is different because it emphasizes clear and challenging goals, and matrix structure is different because it creates dual reporting lines. Question 30. Could a case where employees follow a required sequence for approving purchase orders within a non-profit organization for the Eastgate unit best point to which concept? Option A, policy. Option B, mission. Option C, span of control. Option D, procedure. The correct answer is option D, procedure. Procedure fits because a procedure lists the steps for completing a recurring task. Policy is different because it is broader and less step-by-step. Mission is different because it states the organization's purpose, and span of control is different because it counts direct reports. Question 31. Why would a scenario where a job is redesigned to include more responsibility, achievement, and growth inside a regional branch for the Eastgate unit most likely test which idea? Option A, job enlargement. Option B, job rotation. Option C, job simplification. Option D, job enrichment. The correct answer is option D, job enrichment. Job enrichment fits because job enrichment adds motivating factors to the depth of a job. Job enlargement is different because it adds more tasks at the same level. Job job rotation is different because it moves employees among jobs, and job simplification is different because it reduces task complexity. Question 32. Where does managers compare applicants and choose the best person for the job in a customer service center for the Eastgate unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, selection. Option B, recruitment. Option C, training. Option D, collective bargaining. The correct answer is option A, selection. Selection fits because selection is the process of screening and hiring from the applicant pool. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, training is different because it builds skills after hiring, and collective bargaining is different because it negotiates labor conditions. Question 33. Should a Student Connect employees receive health insurance, paid leave, and retirement contributions at a family-owned business for the Eastgate unit with which management concept? Option A, base pay. Option B, benefits. Option C, selection. Option D, SWOT analysis. The correct answer is option B, benefits. Benefits fits because benefits are indirect forms of compensation beyond direct wages or salary. Base pay is different because it is direct wage or salary compensation, selection is different because it chooses employees, and SWOT analysis is different because it reviews strategic factors. Question 34. Which concept is shown when a manager recognizes that basic needs must be met before higher growth needs motivate employees in a multinational company for the Eastgate unit? Option A, equity theory. Option B, expectancy theory. Option C, reinforcement theory. Option D, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The correct answer is option D, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow's hierarchy of needs fits because Maslow's theory arranges needs from basic physiological needs to self-actualization. Equity theory is different because it focuses on fairness comparisons. Expectancy theory is different because it links effort, performance, and rewards, and reinforcement theory is different because it uses consequences to shape behavior. Question 35. Managers study broad principles such as unity of command and division of work at a new startup for the Eastgate unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, scientific management. Option B, quantitative management. Option C, e-business. Option D, administrative management. The correct answer is option D, administrative management. Administrative management fits because administrative management focuses on general principles for managing organizations. Scientific management is different because it focuses more on individual task efficiency. Quantitative management is different because it applies mathematical models, and e-business is different because it uses digital technology for business processes. Question 36. During a management case, a supervisor paraphrases an employee's concern before responding at a warehouse facility for the Eastgate unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, active listening. Option B, filtering. Option C, noise. Option D, downward control. The correct answer is option A, active listening. Active listening fits because active listening checks understanding and shows attention to the speaker. Filtering is different because it distorts information before it reaches the receiver. Noise is different because it interferes with communication, and downward control is different because it is not a standard communication concept. Question 37. How should a manager classify a situation where a supervisor motivates employees and guides them toward a shared goal inside a project team for the Eastgate unit? Option A, planning. Option B, organizing. Option C, leading. Option D, controlling. The correct answer is option C, leading. Leading fits because leading focuses on influencing, motivating, and directing people. Planning is different because it is about setting direction before action. Organizing is different because it designs responsibilities and relationships, and controlling is different because it compares results with standards. Question 38. When a manager chooses a satisfactory solution because time and information are limited inside a training program for the Eastgate unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, bounded rationality. Option B, perfect rationality. Option C, brainstorming. Option D, management by exception. The correct answer is option A, bounded rationality. Bounded rationality fits because bounded rationality recognizes that managers cannot always make perfectly rational decisions. Perfect rationality is different because it assumes complete information and unlimited analysis. Brainstorming is different because it generates many ideas, and management by exception is different because it focuses attention on major deviations. Question 39. After an employee compares pay and effort with coworkers and judges fairness during a manufacturing expansion for the Eastgate unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, equity theory. Option B, expectancy theory. Option C, Maslow's theory. Option D, TQM. The correct answer is option A, equity theory. Equity theory fits because equity theory focuses on perceived fairness between inputs and outcomes. Expectancy theory is different because it asks whether effort will lead to valued rewards. Maslow's theory is different because it ranks needs in a hierarchy, and TQM is different because it focuses on continuous quality improvement. Question 40. If a manager compares actual spending with the budgeted amount and investigates the difference within a nonprofit organization for the Eastgate unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, job analysis. Option B, brainstorming. Option C, organization chart. Option D, variance analysis. The correct answer is option D, variance analysis. Variance analysis fits because variance analysis identifies gaps between planned and actual results. Job analysis is different because it studies job content, brainstorming is different because it generates ideas, and organization chart is different because it shows reporting lines. Question 41. To analyze a case where employees are grouped into departments such as finance, marketing, and operations inside a regional branch for the Eastgate unit, which term should be selected? Option A, functional structure. Option B, divisional structure. Option C, matrix structure. Option D, virtual team. The correct answer is option A, functional structure. Functional structure fits because a functional structure groups people by similar skills or activities. Divisional structure is different because it groups by product, customer, or geography. Matrix structure is different because it creates dual reporting lines, and virtual team is different because it works across distance through technology. Question 42. For an exam item where managers compare internal strengths and weaknesses with external opportunities and threats in a customer service center for the Eastgate unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, PERT analysis. Option B, performance appraisal. Option C, collective bargaining. Option D, SWOT analysis. The correct answer is option D, SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis fits because SWOT analysis organizes internal and external factors for strategic planning. PERT analysis is different because it schedules complex project activities, performance appraisal is different because it evaluates an employee's work, and collective bargaining is different because it negotiates labor agreements. Question 43. In a workplace example where a manager sends instructions and performance expectations to employees at a family-owned business for the Eastgate unit, which concept is tested? Option A, upward communication. Option B, horizontal communication. Option C, grapevine. Option D, downward communication. The correct answer is option D, downward communication. Downward communication fits because downward communication flows from higher levels to lower levels. Upward communication is different because it moves from employees to managers. Horizontal communication is different because it moves among peers, and grapevine is different because it is informal and unofficial. Question 44. Before choosing an answer about managers set expected revenues and spending limits for a department in a multinational company for the Eastgate unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, organization chart. Option B, budget. Option C, job description. Option D, grapevine. The correct answer is option B, budget. Budget fits because a budget is a financial plan that helps allocate and control resources. Organization chart is different because it shows formal reporting relationships. Job description is different because it lists position duties, and grapevine is different because it is informal communication. Question 45. One manager notices that a supervisor formally evaluates an employee's job results against standards at a new startup for the Eastgate unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, job analysis. Option B, recruitment. Option C, performance appraisal. Option D, orientation. The correct answer is option C, performance appraisal. Performance appraisal fits because performance appraisal assesses how well an employee met performance expectations. Job analysis is different because it studies job duties, recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, and orientation is different because it introduces new hires. Question 46. Could a case where an employer uses job-related criteria and avoids discrimination in hiring at a warehouse facility for the Eastgate unit best point to which concept? Option A, equal employment opportunity. Option B, job enlargement. Option C, grapevine. Option D, benchmarking. The correct answer is option A, equal employment opportunity. Equal employment opportunity fits because equal employment opportunity requires fair treatment in employment decisions. Job enlargement is different because it expands tasks, grapevine is different because it is informal communication, and benchmarking is different because it compares with best practices. Question 47. Why would a scenario where a leader gives capable experts broad freedom and little direct supervision inside a project team for the Eastgate unit most likely test which idea? Option A, autocratic leadership. Option B, bureaucratic leadership. Option C, laissez-faire leadership. Option D, transactional leadership. The correct answer is option C, laissez-faire leadership. Laissez-faire leadership fits because laissez-faire leadership minimizes leader control and allows follower autonomy. Autocratic leadership is different because it is directive and centralized, bureaucratic leadership is different because it follows rules closely, and transactional leadership is different because it emphasizes rewards and corrections. Question 48. Where does employees in marketing and operations coordinate work at the same level inside a training program for the Eastgate unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, horizontal communication. Option B, downward communication. Option C, upward communication. Option D, chain of command. The correct answer is option A, horizontal communication. Horizontal communication fits because horizontal communication occurs among people or units at similar levels. Downward communication is different because it flows down the hierarchy, upward communication is different because it flows up the hierarchy, and chain of command is different because it shows formal authority lines. Question 49. Should a student connect a manager studies how changes in one department affect suppliers, employees, and customers during a manufacturing expansion for the Eastgate unit with which management concept? Option A, scientific management. Option B, systems theory. Option C, job specification. Option D, downward communication. The correct answer is option B, systems theory. Systems theory fits because systems theory views the organization as interdependent parts within a larger environment. Scientific management is different because it focuses on efficient task design, job specification is different because it lists worker qualifications, and downward communication is different because it describes message direction. Question 50. Which concept is shown when a theorist emphasizes hierarchy, formal rules, and impersonal treatment within a non-profit organization for the Eastgate unit? Option A, bureaucratic management. Option B, human relations management. Option C, transformational leadership. Option D, JIT inventory. The correct answer is option A, bureaucratic management. Bureaucratic management fits because bureaucratic management explains organizations through formal authority, rules, and specialization. Human relations management is different because it emphasizes social and psychological factors. Transformational leadership is different because it inspires change through vision, and JIT inventory is different because it reduces inventory holding. Question 51. Experts give anonymous opinions through several rounds of questionnaires inside a regional branch for the Eastgate unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, town hall meeting. Option B, functional structure. Option C, concurrent control. Option D, Delphi technique. The correct answer is option D, Delphi technique. Delphi technique fits because the Delphi technique gathers expert judgment while reducing direct social pressure. Town hall meeting is different because it is open discussion rather than anonymous expert rounds. Functional structure is different because it groups similar activities, and concurrent control is different because it monitors current work. Question 52. During a management case, materials arrive shortly before they are needed in production in a customer service center for the Eastgate unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, just-in-time inventory. Option B, safety stock. Option C, job rotation. Option D, SWOT analysis. The correct answer is option A, just-in-time inventory. Just-in-time inventory fits because JIT reduces inventory holding by coordinating deliveries closely with production needs. Safety stock is different because it keeps extra inventory as a buffer. Job rotation is different because it moves employees among jobs, and SWOT analysis is different because it studies strategic factors. Question 53. How should a manager classify a situation where work is studied to find the most efficient way to perform each task at a family-owned business for the Eastgate unit? Option A, human relations approach. Option B, scientific management. Option C, contingency theory. Option D, bureaucracy. The correct answer is option B, scientific management. Scientific management fits because scientific management emphasizes task analysis, standard methods, and efficiency. Human relations approach is different because it emphasizes social needs and worker attitudes. Contingency theory is different because it argues management depends on the situation, and bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes hierarchy and rules. Question 54. When a company creates separate units for consumer products, business products, and services in a multinational company for the Eastgate unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, functional structure. Option B, simple structure. Option C, divisional structure. Option D, staff authority. The correct answer is option C, divisional structure. Divisional structure fits because a divisional structure groups work around products, customers, or regions. Functional structure is different because it groups by specialized activities. Simple structure is different because it has little formalization and few departments, and staff authority is different because it gives advice rather than a full divisional design. Question 55. After a leader rewards employees for meeting agreed performance targets at a new startup for the Eastgate unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, transformational leadership. Option B, transactional leadership. Option C, servant leadership. Option D, situational leadership. The correct answer is option B, transactional leadership. Transactional leadership fits because transactional leadership uses exchanges, rewards, and corrective actions. Transformational leadership is different because it inspires commitment to change. Servant leadership is different because it emphasizes serving followers, and situational leadership is different because it adapts style to readiness. Question 56. If workers are told that safety goggles must be worn in the lab at a warehouse facility for the Eastgate unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, policy. Option B, strategy. Option C, empowerment. Option D, rule. The correct answer is option D, rule. Rule fits because a rule states exactly what must or must not be done. Policy is different because it offers broad guidance rather than a specific command. Strategy is different because it sets broad direction, and empowerment is different because it gives employees more decision authority. Question 57. To analyze a case where two departments search for a solution that fully addresses both sides' concerns inside a project team for the Eastgate unit, which term should be selected? Option A, avoidance. Option B, forcing. Option C, collaboration. Option D, compromise. The correct answer is option C, collaboration. Collaboration fits because collaboration tries to create a win-win outcome by addressing underlying interests. Avoidance is different because it postpones or ignores the conflict. Forcing is different because it uses power to win at the other's expense, and compromise is different because it requires each side to give up something. Question 58. For an exam item where a team member reduces tension and encourages quieter members to participate inside a training program for the Eastgate unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, maintenance role. Option B, task role. Option C, program decision. Option D, line authority. The correct answer is option A, maintenance role. Maintenance role fits because maintenance roles support group relationships and cohesion. Task role is different because it focuses directly on completing the work. Program decision is different because it handles routine problems, and line authority is different because it commands core work activities. Question 59. In a workplace example where frontline supervisors plan specific daily activities and work routines during a manufacturing expansion for the Eastgate unit, which concept is tested? Option A, strategic planning. Option B, organization development. Option C, operational planning. Option D, benchmarking. The correct answer is option C, operational planning. Operational planning fits because operational planning deals with short-range tasks, procedures, and schedules. Strategic planning is different because it covers broad long-term direction. Organization development is different because it focuses on planned organizational change, and benchmarking is different because it compares practices with leading performers. Question 60. Before choosing an answer about an employee is motivated by achievement, recognition, responsibility, and growth within a nonprofit organization for the Eastgate unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, Herzberg's two-factor theory. Option B, Maslow's hierarchy. Option C, equity theory. Option D, scientific management. The correct answer is option A, Herzberg's two-factor theory. Herzberg's two-factor theory fits because Herzberg separates motivators from hygiene factors and links motivators to job satisfaction. Maslow's hierarchy is different because it organizes human needs in levels, equity theory is different because it focuses on fairness of reward ratios, and scientific management is different because it focuses on task efficiency. Question 61. One manager notices that a team includes employees with different backgrounds, experiences, and perspectives inside a regional branch for the Eastgate unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, uniformity. Option B, centralization. Option C, workforce diversity. Option D, budget variance. The correct answer is option C, workforce diversity. Workforce diversity fits because workforce diversity refers to differences among employees that can affect work and decisions. Uniformity is different because it means sameness rather than difference. Centralization is different because it keeps authority at higher levels, and budget variance is different because it compares financial actuals with planned amounts. Question 62. Could a case where employees learn skills needed for their current job in a customer service center for the Eastgate unit best point to which concept? Option A, development. Option B, training. Option C, recruitment. Option D, compensation. The correct answer is option B, training. Training fits because training develops abilities that improve current job performance. Development is different because it prepares employees for broader future roles. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, and compensation is different because it provides pay and benefits. Question 63. Why would a scenario where a supervisor is responsible for 12 direct reports at a family-owned business for the Eastgate unit most likely test which idea? Option A, chain of command. Option B, unity of direction. Option C, span of control. Option D, job specification. The correct answer is option C, span of control. Span of control fits because span of control is the number of employees reporting directly to a manager. Chain of command is different because it shows reporting lines rather than number of reports. Unity of direction is different because it aligns activities under one plan, and job specification is different because it lists qualifications. Question 64. Where does a manager compares actual performance with standards and corrects a gap in a multinational company for the Eastgate unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, planning. Option B, controlling. Option C, organizing. Option D, leading. The correct answer is option B, controlling. Controlling fits because controlling measures results, compares them with standards, and triggers corrective action. Planning is different because it sets goals but does not measure completed results. Organizing is different because it assigns work and authority, and leading is different because it motivates people rather than evaluates variances. Question 65. Should a student connect leaders explain why old habits must change before introducing a new system at a new startup for the Eastgate unit with which management concept? Option A, refreezing. Option B, controlling. Option C, unfreezing. Option D, recruiting. The correct answer is option C, unfreezing. Unfreezing fits because unfreezing prepares people to let go of current behaviors and accept change. Refreezing is different because it stabilizes the new behavior. Controlling is different because it measures performance against standards, and recruiting is different because it attracts applicants. Question 66. Which concept is shown when managers recognize that social needs and group norms affect productivity at a warehouse facility for the Eastgate unit? Option A, scientific management. Option B, classical bureaucracy. Option C, human relations approach. Option D, PERT. The correct answer is option C, human relations approach. Human relations approach fits because the human relations approach emphasizes people, morale, and social factors at work. Scientific management is different because it emphasizes efficient task methods. Classical bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes formal rules and hierarchy, and PERT is different because it schedules project activities. Question 67. Team members write ideas silently, discuss them, and rank the options inside a project team for the Eastgate unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, nominal group technique. Option B, brainstorming. Option C, grapevine. Option D, job analysis. The correct answer is option A, nominal group technique. Nominal group technique fits because the nominal group technique reduces dominance by collecting individual ideas before voting. Brainstorming is different because it usually encourages open idea generation. Grapevine is different because it is informal communication, and job analysis is different because it studies work duties. Question 68. During a management case, a manager has the formal right to make decisions and direct work inside a training program for the Eastgate unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, authority. Option B, responsibility. Option C, accountability. Option D, motivation. The correct answer is option A, authority. Authority fits because authority is the legitimate right to command resources and give orders. Responsibility is different because it is the duty to perform assigned work. Accountability is different because it is being answerable for results, and motivation is different because it is the drive to act. Question 69. How should a manager classify a situation where a leader focuses first on helping followers grow and succeed during a manufacturing expansion for the Eastgate unit? Option A, autocratic leadership. Option B, transactional leadership. Option C, scientific management. Option D, servant leadership. The correct answer is option D, servant leadership. Servant leadership fits because servant leadership prioritizes follower development, service, and trust. Autocratic leadership is different because it emphasizes command by the leader. Transactional leadership is different because it emphasizes performance exchanges, and scientific management is different because it emphasizes efficient work methods. Question 70. When a leader changes direction and support based on follower readiness within a nonprofit organization for the Eastgate unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, autocratic leadership. Option B, bureaucratic management. Option C, situational leadership. Option D, job enrichment. The correct answer is option C, situational leadership. Situational leadership fits because situational leadership adapts leader behavior to the maturity or readiness of followers. Autocratic leadership is different because it consistently centers decisions on the leader. Bureaucratic management is different because it emphasizes formal rules, and job enrichment is different because it redesigns jobs for motivation. Question 71. After managers estimate future sales before setting staffing levels inside a regional branch for the Eastgate unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, delegation. Option B, forecasting. Option C, job enrichment. Option D, mediation. The correct answer is option B, forecasting. Forecasting fits because forecasting predicts future conditions so managers can plan more intelligently. Delegation is different because it assigns responsibility and authority. Job enrichment is different because it adds motivating responsibility to a job, and mediation is different because it uses a neutral party to guide dispute resolution. Question 72. If a department head groups jobs, assigns authority, and allocates resources in a customer service center for the Eastgate unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, planning. Option B, leading. Option C, organizing. Option D, controlling. The correct answer is option C, organizing. Organizing fits because organizing creates the structure needed to carry out a plan. Planning is different because it chooses goals before the structure is built. Leading is different because it motivates people rather than designs jobs, and controlling is different because it checks performance after standards exist. Question 73. To analyze a case where an employee receives more tasks at the same skill level at a family-owned business for the Eastgate unit, which term should be selected? Option A, job enrichment. Option B, job rotation. Option C, job enlargement. Option D, empowerment. The correct answer is option C, job enlargement. Job enlargement fits because job enlargement expands the number of similar tasks in a job. Job enrichment is different because it adds deeper responsibility and growth. Job rotation is different because it moves people among different jobs, and empowerment is different because it gives decision authority. Question 74. For an exam item where frontline workers are allowed to make service decisions without waiting for approval in a multinational company for the Eastgate unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, empowerment. Option B, centralization. Option C, job analysis. Option D, filtering. The correct answer is option A, empowerment. Empowerment fits because empowerment gives employees authority, information, and responsibility to act. Centralization is different because it keeps decisions at higher levels. Job analysis is different because it studies duties and requirements, and filtering is different because it distorts communication. Question 75. In a workplace example where a neutral selection test disproportionately screens out a protected group without job-related justification at a new startup for the Eastgate unit, which concept is tested? Option A, job enrichment. Option B, adverse impact. Option C, management by objectives. Option D, horizontal communication. The correct answer is option B, adverse impact. Adverse impact fits because adverse impact occurs when an employment practice has an unfair discriminatory effect. Job enrichment is different because it adds motivators to work. Management by objectives is different because it sets agreed measurable goals, and horizontal communication is different because it occurs among peers. Question 76. Before choosing an answer about executives, choose broad long-term goals for the whole organization at a warehouse facility for the Eastgate unit. Which concept should stand out? Option A, strategic planning. Option B, operational planning. Option C, work scheduling. Option D, performance appraisal. The correct answer is option A, strategic planning. Strategic planning fits because strategic planning sets organization-wide direction over a longer time horizon. Operational planning is different because it focuses on short-term day-to-day activities. Work scheduling is different because it assigns timing to tasks, and performance appraisal is different because it evaluates employee results. Question 77. One manager notices that a leader inspires employees with a vision for major change inside a project team for the Eastgate unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, transactional leadership. Option B, scientific management. Option C, budgetary control. Option D, transformational leadership. The correct answer is option D, transformational leadership. Transformational leadership fits because transformational leadership motivates people through vision, meaning, and change. Transactional leadership is different because it focuses on exchanges and rewards. Scientific management is different because it focuses on task efficiency, and budgetary control is different because it monitors financial results. Question 78. Could a case where employees receive clear, challenging goals and regular feedback inside a training program for the Eastgate unit best point to which concept? Option A, Maslow's hierarchy. Option B, goal-setting theory. Option C, Hawthorne effect. Option D, decentralization. The correct answer is option B, goal-setting theory. Goal-setting theory fits because goal-setting theory says specific challenging goals can improve performance when accepted. Maslow's hierarchy is different because it ranks needs. Hawthorne effect is different because it involves changes due to being observed, and decentralization is different because it delegates authority downward. Question 79. Why would a scenario where posting lists required education, skills, and experience for the role during a manufacturing expansion for the Eastgate unit most likely test which idea? Option A, job description. Option B, procedure. Option C, job specification. Option D, span of control. The correct answer is option C, job specification. Job specification fits because a job specification identifies qualifications a worker needs for the job. Job description is different because it lists duties performed, procedure is different because it gives steps for a task, and span of control is different because it counts direct reports. Question 80. Where does an organization relies on written rules, hierarchy, specialization, and formal procedures within a non-profit organization for the Eastgate unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, adhocracy. Option B, grapevine. Option C, bureaucracy. Option D, job enrichment. The correct answer is option C, bureaucracy. Bureaucracy fits because bureaucracy is a formal structure built around rules, hierarchy, and defined roles. Adhocracy is different because it is flexible and innovation-oriented. Grapevine is different because it is informal communication, and job enrichment is different because it redesigns work for motivation. Question 81. Should a student connect major decisions must be approved by top executives inside a regional branch for the Eastgate unit with which management concept? Option A, decentralization. Option B, empowerment. Option C, horizontal communication. Option D, centralization. The correct answer is option D, centralization. Centralization fits because centralization concentrates decision authority at higher levels. Decentralization is different because it pushes authority to lower levels. Empowerment is different because it gives employees more discretion, and horizontal communication is different because it flows among peers. Question 82. Which concept is shown when a production manager directly supervises employees who make the company's product in a customer service center for the Eastgate unit? Option A, staff authority. Option B, informal authority. Option C, line authority. Option D, mediation. The correct answer is option C, line authority. Line authority fits because line authority is direct authority over core work activities. Staff authority is different because it provides advice and support. Informal authority is different because it comes from relationships rather than formal position, and mediation is different because it helps parties settle a dispute. Question 83. Consultants help improve culture, teamwork, and readiness for change at a family-owned business for the Eastgate unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, scientific management. Option B, recruitment. Option C, organization development. Option D, budget variance analysis. The correct answer is option C, organization development. Organization development fits because organization development uses planned interventions to improve organizational effectiveness. Scientific management is different because it focuses on task efficiency, recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, and budget variance analysis is different because it compares planned and actual financial results. Question 84. During a management case, workers plan, schedule, monitor, and control much of their own work in a multinational company for the Eastgate unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, traditional team. Option B, self-managed team. Option C, virtual organization. Option D, quality circle. The correct answer is option B, self-managed team. Self-managed team fits because self-managed teams have authority over many administrative and work process decisions. Traditional team is different because it relies more on a supervisor for direction. Virtual organization is different because it uses networks and technology across locations, and quality circle is different because it usually recommends improvements rather than manages all work. Question 85. How should a manager classify a situation where employees organize as a group to represent their workplace interests at a new startup for the Eastgate unit? Option A, quality circle. Option B, functional department. Option C, labor union. Option D, mission statement. The correct answer is option C, labor union. Labor union fits because a labor union represents workers collectively in dealing with management. Quality circle is different because it focuses on work improvement suggestions. Functional department is different because it groups similar work, and mission statement is different because it states purpose. Question 86. When leaders explain the organization's basic purpose and reason for existing at a warehouse facility for the Eastgate unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, procedure. Option B, variance report. Option C, mission statement. Option D, job specification. The correct answer is option C, mission statement. Mission statement fits because a mission statement states what the organization does and why it exists. Procedure is different because it gives step-by-step instructions. Variance report is different because it compares actual results with standards, and job specification is different because it lists qualifications for a job. Question 87. After a manager chooses a leadership style based on the team's skill and the situation inside a project team for the Eastgate unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, one best way approach. Option B, contingency theory. Option C, equity theory. Option D, centralization. The correct answer is option B, contingency theory. Contingency theory fits because contingency theory says effective management depends on situational factors. One best way approach is different because it assumes one method works everywhere. Equity theory is different because it focuses on fairness perceptions, and centralization is different because it concerns where authority is held. Question 88. If a manager uses formal authority to impose a conflict decision quickly inside a training program for the Eastgate unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, accommodation. Option B, forcing. Option C, collaboration. Option D, compromise. The correct answer is option B, forcing. Forcing fits because forcing is a win-lose style that relies on power or authority. Accommodation is different because it gives in to preserve harmony, collaboration is different because it seeks mutual gains, and compromise is different because it splits concessions between sides. Question 89. To analyze a case where an employee accepts the duty to complete an assigned task during a manufacturing expansion for the Eastgate unit, which term should be selected? Option A, authority. Option B, accountability. Option C, responsibility. Option D, centralization. The correct answer is option C, responsibility. Responsibility fits because responsibility is the obligation to perform assigned work. Authority is different because it is the right to direct work. Accountability is different because it is answerability for outcomes, and centralization is different because it keeps decisions at higher levels. Question 90. For an exam item where employees work harder when they believe effort leads to performance and performance leads to valued rewards within a non-profit organization for the Eastgate unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, equity theory. Option B, reinforcement theory. Option C, bureaucracy. Option D, expectancy theory. The correct answer is option D, expectancy theory. Expectancy theory fits because expectancy theory connects effort, performance, and outcomes. Equity theory is different because it centers on fairness comparisons. Reinforcement theory is different because it focuses on consequences after behavior. And bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes rules and hierarchy. Question 91. In a workplace example where a firm discovers its outdated software is hurting productivity inside a regional branch for the Eastgate unit, which concept is tested? Option A, strength. Option B, weakness. Option C, opportunity. Option D, threat. The correct answer is option B, weakness. Weakness fits because a weakness is an internal limitation that can reduce performance. Strength is different because it is an internal advantage. Opportunity is different because it comes from a favorable external condition, and threat is different because it comes from an unfavorable external condition. Question 92. Before choosing an answer about HR studies the tasks, duties, and requirements of a position in a customer service center for the Eastgate unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, job enrichment. Option B, recruitment. Option C, collective bargaining. Option D, job analysis. The correct answer is option D, job analysis. Job analysis fits because job analysis collects information about what a job involves and what worker qualities it requires. Job enrichment is different because it redesigns work for motivation. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, and collective bargaining is different because it negotiates labor agreements. Question 93. One manager notices that employees can trace who reports to whom from supervisor to executive at a family-owned business for the Eastgate unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, job enrichment. Option B, chain of command. Option C, benchmarking. Option D, equity theory. The correct answer is option B, chain of command. Chain of command fits because the chain of command shows the formal line of authority. Job enrichment is different because it adds motivating responsibility to work. Benchmarking is different because it compares performance with best practices, and equity theory is different because it concerns perceived fairness. Question 94. Could a case where an HR specialist advises managers about hiring rules without running their departments in a multinational company for the Eastgate unit best point to which concept? Option A, line authority. Option B, centralization. Option C, concurrent control. Option D, staff authority. The correct answer is option D, staff authority. Staff authority fits because staff authority supports line managers with specialized advice. Line authority is different because it directly commands core work. Centralization is different because it concerns where decisions are made, and concurrent control is different because it monitors work in progress. Question 95. Why would a scenario where employees from different backgrounds are actively involved in meetings and decisions at a new startup for the Eastgate unit most likely test which idea? Option A, recruitment. Option B, filtering. Option C, bureaucracy. Option D, inclusion. The correct answer is option D, inclusion. Inclusion fits because inclusion means people are welcomed, respected, and able to contribute. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, filtering is different because it distorts communication, and bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes rules and hierarchy. Question 96. Where does a team member keeps discussion focused on goals, facts, and deadlines at a warehouse facility for the Eastgate unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, maintenance role. Option B, task role. Option C, blocking role. Option D, informal authority. The correct answer is option B, task role. Task role fits because task roles help the group accomplish its work. Maintenance role is different because it supports relationships and morale. Blocking role is different because it disrupts group progress, and informal authority is different because it comes from influence rather than position. Question 97. Should a student connect a document lists the duties, responsibilities, and reporting relationships of a position inside a project team for the Eastgate unit with which management concept? Option A, job specification. Option B, policy. Option C, job description. Option D, forecast. The correct answer is option C, job description. Job description fits because a job description explains what the job holder does. Job specification is different because it lists qualifications needed, policy is different because it gives broad decision guidance, and forecast is different because it estimates future conditions. Question 98. Which concept is shown when HR builds a pool of applicants for an open position inside a training program for the Eastgate unit? Option A, recruitment. Option B, selection. Option C, orientation. Option D, performance appraisal. The correct answer is option A, recruitment. Recruitment fits because recruitment attracts qualified candidates to apply. Selection is different because it chooses among applicants. Orientation is different because it introduces hired employees, and performance appraisal is different because it evaluates work results. Question 99. A routine refund request is handled with an established policy during a manufacturing expansion for the Eastgate unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, non-program decision. Option B, strategic alliance. Option C, program decision. Option D, job enrichment. The correct answer is option C, program decision. Program decision fits because program decisions use rules or procedures for recurring problems. Non-program decision is different because it addresses new and unusual situations. Strategic alliance is different because it is cooperation between firms, and job enrichment is different because it redesigns work. Question 100. During a management case, a company gives managers broad guidance for handling customer refunds within a non-profit organization for the Eastgate unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, policy. Option B, procedure. Option C, rule. Option D, vision. The correct answer is option A, policy. Policy fits because a policy is a general guideline for recurring decisions. Procedure is different because it gives exact steps to follow. Rule is different because it states a specific required or prohibited action. And vision is different because it describes a desired future.